It's nice to have you sitting in front of me, and having never met you before, this is exciting for me. I'm feeling really ready to just drop into the session. I'll probably talk for a little while, and then you're welcome to stop me at any time and ask questions or ask for clarification.
Okay.
So please, even if it feels like interrupting, please feel free to stop me in mid-sentence.
Okay.
Okay. So, and I usually close my eyes while I do the reading, but I'm very much here. When you first sat down, and I sat in front of you, I had a very strong and powerful rush of emotion, and there's a part of you that is so innocent, and desirous. There's a depth to you and a willingness to be engaged in your life in the pursuit of intimacy. And this is one of your life purposes, is your journey in learning how to connect on a very deep level with people. There's a very powerful part of who you are that is dedicated to honoring what some traditions call honoring the goddess. It's another way of saying it is that you see the beauty and the value in the feminine as it's manifested in the form of woman. And there are times in your life when you've been really discouraged, and where you've questioned this driving force and also ability. And it's brought you a lot of joy, and it's also brought you a lot of internal struggle. The innocence is like a very small boy, the innocence of a small child, about the age of 2 or 3, and it's transformed through your life in various forms, and it exists at this point in your life is a willingness to ask to be seen. And so I'm going to get a little cosmic here.
Okay.
The work that you're doing around that is not just about for you, Liam. It's really for all men. So when it feels like a burden, or it feels really big, or it feels like you're being swept away, or it feels like you're in confusion, it's because it's not simply about you resolving something in your life. It really is, you're taking it on for humanity. And it doesn't mean you have to do anything different than you're doing, but it helps put it a little bit in perspective. So when you come up against discouragement, or you come up against feeling empty or lonely or confused or rejected, just know that a lot of it, if it's possible, you can separate it from the personal. And you will be engaged in this endeavor of asking to be seen, reaching for higher and higher and deeper levels of intimacy, and honoring the feminine for the rest of your life.
Mm-hmm.
And you may may not really know this, but you are a role model for many people, especially men and younger men coming up. So know that you are really being watched, and that's not a matter of, oh, I'm being watched, so I need to move more into perfection. It's more, I'm being watched and I'm being observed at what it looks like to achieve mastery. And achieving mastery can be a very uncomfortable and messy process. And other people need to know that, because we don't just emerge into mastery. We put in the pieces along the way.
Right.
So if there's discouragement in your life right now, sit tight. It's going to pass. And there also is some very powerful uplifting coming into your life. So there's a very interesting sort of yin-yang blend for you right now. Be very careful to resist the desire to isolate. And the isolation, it's a very interesting place for you right now. As you become older, you will need more alone time. But inside, you know the difference between taking alone time and isolating. It almost has a flavor in your mouth. You almost can taste, oh, I'm isolating. But it's hard. It's like you have trouble becoming mobilized out of that, literally, physically, and energetically. So be very slow to use your physical limitations as a reason to not engage in your life to the degree that you can. And there are appropriate times for you to wallow a little bit in self-pity and feeling sorry for yourself and mourning the loss of, and that's all very natural. There's nothing wrong with that. It's that if you use it as an excuse to continue to be disengaged from the life that you were meant to live, because you were meant to touch many people's hearts. And it's really, when I sat in front of you, I knew that immediately about you. And the world needs you to do that. So you really need to step through what's holding you back so that you can offer your gifts. There are people in your lives that you have asked for help, and some of them are able to. It's the asking for help that can sometimes be a little confusing, because it's really important for you to utilize the skills that you have about asking for clarification around certain things. Look, if somebody is not available to assist you in the way that you would like them to, be very slow to read into it as something that's personal. You are not a burden. You are not bothersome. And it really is up to people to make the decisions themselves about how they want to engage in your life and how they can't or are not available. So taking any of that personally is just a down elevator for your emotional state. So if you can somehow find a way to gently disregard and not push away, not become angry, not, there can be definitely some disappointment involved. But be very gentle in drawing conclusions, and use the skills that you have about asking for clarification. Get a little courage and say, but I thought my understanding was that we were on for Friday, and now you're saying you're not available. Can you tell me what that's about, or what came up for you, or what's going on, rather than going, oh, they don't want to spend time with me, or oh, I'm too much, or I'm too little, or I'm... So that level of empowerment of the step that you can take, you're going to be totally amazed about how so much it's not about you. So
sure, yeah.
So it's worth taking that, because what do you have to lose? I mean, you've already drawn the negative conclusion. I mean, what do you have to lose? I mean, if they confirm it, so you already knew it. But if there's more and different information, you're going to learn something more about yourself and about how really supportive the world is around you. Stay warm, and if it's at all possible, go vacation someplace warm during the colder, wetter months. Surround.
Actually, it's heat that I have a hard time with. So.
Yeah, it's not about getting hot. It's about staying in that comfortable, warm place. About getting too cold or getting too hot. It's not about going to the tropics and sweating. It's about making sure that you have warmth.
Right.
And right in that middle, comfortable ground. I'm a little hesitant to say this because I'm not sure how it's going to come across, but surround yourself with beautiful women. Any way you can, because you have a level of appreciation that is different than what women perceive as the sucky, needy, dependent, grasping male energy. You're able to hold a different space, and so therefore you're able to receive the energy from the women in a way that they're more able to give it. And this is very important for creating life force flow for you. It always has been. It's very beautiful. It's very ancient. It's it pertains to Tibetan esoteric practices. So it's amusing, and it also could be very rewarding as well. Affection, appreciation. I mean, all human beings need that, but it's time that you surround yourself with people who are easily and willingly offering that to you, and you know how to do that, and you've done that in the past. So it's not a quantum leap for you. It's just remembering deciding where you want to be, who you want to be with, and creating the conditions for that to happen. If you're not already mentoring people, especially young men, it's really important that you find your way to doing that. And if you are already doing it, and you are doing it in an informal way, but if you could become more available to that, that would be a really beautiful thing for you and for them.